All right, it's Matt and Ryan the Button Guy from the Random Maker here. And Ryan, what are we here for this round?
Time to saw, buddy! We're gonna use these saws, we're gonna cut some wood. It's gonna get violent in here.
Ryan, Dad. Okay.
No.
These are some of actually the most, from anecdotal evidence, some of the most dangerous saws actually in my room.
Oh, so we should probably be safe then.
Yeah, and please, at any point, if you're unsure, please ask an expert, take a course. The only dumb question with safety is the question you didn't ask.
That's correct. I love that saying. It's one of my favorites.
I think we have a new catchphrase for the Ryan the Button Guy.
Yeah, I strongly believe it. And we get to a point in our lives where we think like, you should know how to use this drill or this saw. And I'm not gonna ask for help because I'm a man now, and if I'm a man, I don't need to ask for help. That's such nonsense. Ask for help.
So we're gonna go through how to set one of these up, because believe it or not, the setup is something I've seen a lot of people do. I would not say, I wouldn't say it properly, but you're doing more work than you need to. Let's actually get talking about saws.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this cordless one away for now, and we're gonna slice some wood.
Now, I'm gonna take the battery out, because one of the biggest things is people make adjustments on these with the batteries in.
Oh yeah, why wouldn't you?
I like all 10 fingers.
Oh.
Anytime you are making changes on a machine to de-energize it. So for battery operation, de-energization is taking a battery out, or if it's a corded tool, unplug it. Exactly. So in this video, I'm not going to show how to change blades, because that's how to use it. And we're assuming a blade is already in.
Like, let's pretend like I just bought this because I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and I got a guy at or wherever. We have no sponsorships. Hashtag give us one. And I bring it home and I need to use it to do a small project. Here we go.
Okay, so step one, okay, and this is actually the big one where people get hurt, is people, what they do is they unlock, and I was cutting 2x4, so I actually needed it full, but what they do is they just take the guide, put it down, and it lives like that for the rest of its life.
Sure.
Okay.
Flat, safe, easy.
The blade is sticking out.
Oh, it is sticking out.
So a general rule is you want the blade to be 1/8 under the material you're cutting. So 1/8 of an inch. A good way to kind of look at it is saw blades are 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so Ryan here is going to set his blade first. And the battery is right over here, so Ryan can press the button all he wants, and he is not going to cut a finger off.
Felt safe when you did that.
So first thing Ryan's going to do
Feel safe.
is he's going to unlock on the back, and each saw has a different place to unlock it. This one has a nice big handle that he's going to lift up. Now what that does is this opens up the guide. Now if you're wondering why there's tape on here, I was cutting veneers and it's actually a trick of mine so I don't scratch stuff up. Yeah. So what he wants to do now is he wants to measure the amount of wood he's going to cut through. So one way to do it is I tend to put the wood on the edge of a table, put the meat of the saw onto the wood, and then you can hang the blade over the table. So you just lay the saw right on the wood, and then you put the blade, so you're going to hold up the safety guard, only lift the safety guard up if you have the battery out, and then he's going to set the blade to 1/8 of an inch below our material. And then Ryan's going to tell me,
There it is.
I'm going to lock it for him. He is capable, I'm just trying to be nice. And
Why don't we turn this way, Matt? We can show where we're at.
actually, that's a better idea.
Is that about right?
And is that the thickness of a blade, Ryan? That's about 3 blades.
So it looks like one blade right here. This blade.
So, thickness of the blade this way.
Oh, that way.
Yeah.
Jesus crow. All right.
So, see? Look how easy of a mistake we can make. And let's show the camera what Ryan did. And that is, I am happy on. And that's cutting the edge.
We're gonna work it.
We're gonna work it. So, now that it's off, I always like to give it a second little tug.
Make sure it's nice and tight on there.
Because another thing is, These saws also do have angle guides. You always want to make sure those are, because you don't want that guide moving on you.
We're not there yet. That's another video.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is make sure the guide is stable, because a lot of the accidents I've seen is when people start to like, oh, it's moving as they're cutting, and that is scary. So next thing, let's talk about the safety gear. So this saw is over 86 decibels. As soon as any equipment is over 86 decibels, you have to have your handy dandy hearing protection. And obviously, as any tool in the shop, you also have to have your safety glasses. Okay, next, let's prep the wood, because the last thing we always want to do, the last thing is energize the cut. So you're gonna see it on construction sites where people just cut like this. As long as you are holding the material, it's safe. Now, if you are a beginner, I always recommend use a mechanical means of holding down. What I mean by mechanical, we are gonna take a C-clamp, and
Why is it called a C-clamp, Matt?
because it's in the shape of the letter C.
Some of these things are just pretty basic, folks.
So I'm going to clamp the wood down, and if you have a vise or any other thing, I'm very big when it comes to woodworking, working on a nice solid table. And this is now, so see, I'm moving the table. The next thing we're gonna wanna do, is mark where we're gonna wanna cut. Because one of the best ways to get a straight cut is, to be honest, to have a mark to work
Not a
off of.
straight line. Makes sense to me.
So I'm just gonna mark. Let's go with this. Can you see that, Ryan?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. The next thing is, Ryan, are you left or right-handed?
Right-handed.
So here's the thing. I'm actually left-handed.
You're wrong-handed?
So if you're right-handed, so it's also nice, Ryan is on the correct side of the table. The wood is sticking out correct, because you're gonna want the meat of the saw on the biggest part of the material. So Ryan's gonna stick his left hand on here. He's gonna put his thumb there, and you're gonna have your left hand. And what he's going to do is line up the metal guide with the line and push right through. Now, if you're using different sizes of blades and stuff, these guides are set for 1/8 of an inch blades. And so if you have 1/8 inch blades, the guides work. If not, some saws actually have different cuts. Like that one actually has different marks for different sizes. This one, standard 1/8. So at this point, we're gonna pop the battery in, and we're gonna let Ryan cut some stuff. So let's get a close up.
All right, I'm putting the battery in, and it's cutting time.
All right, the saw is now energized. So the first thing is we want the saw blade away from the start of the cut. You never want to start a cut with the blade touching the wood.
Pretty far back here. How far should I be?
Well, a good rule is I like 1/2 inch of the blade, because we want as much of that guide on the wood as well. And we're gonna lift it up so the guide's sitting nice and flat. That's the money shot right there, Ryan. So what Ryan's gonna do, because you're not gonna be able to hear me, is he's going to press the safety button, and then he's going to cut right through the wood, and he's gonna do one clean cut motion. And yeah, so Ryan,
Here I go. Get cutting.
let's take a look at that cut. So as we can see right here, by having the blade, do you see any tear out or anything like that?
Looks fantastic.
That is, and also look how straight that is. Couple things I should have mentioned Ryan did. Let's be honest, I'm telling Ryan some stuff beforehand. He had a nice, slow, steady pace with the saw, and he let the saw do all the work. And that's the key with them.
So I think that's it for this one, Matt. I think I know how to do this now.
Do you really, Ryan? Yeah,
Yeah, I could do this again, I think, if I needed to.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, ask questions. He's got the answers. And don't forget,
until next time, let's get making.